A wicked clown comes back to life, unleashing a horrifying killing spree that can send shivers down your spine. A young girl is destined to confront this terrifying creature, but she's not yet prepared for the battle ahead. Will she conquer the menace, or will she become yet another of his victims? Let's find out in our story today. Hey everyone, today I'm going to share a recap of the horror thriller movie Terrifier 2. This movie is a sequel to Terrifier. At the end of the first Terrifier movie, Art, the creepy serial killer clown, was left seriously injured but not completely defeated. The story begins right after Art is resurrected by an unknown entity following the Miles County massacre. Art the clown then uses a surgical hammer to murder and severely dismember the medical examiner who was investigating his dead body. Art then takes out the eye of the examiner and tries to fit in his own eye socket. He also steals a few supplies like acid and medical equipment before leaving. In the following scene, he enters a laundromat to clean his blood-soaked clothes, during which he looks into a newspaper and laughs silently as he reads the news of a family of 4 getting killed in a crash. As he reads through the newspaper, his washing machine suddenly stops and he encounters the vision of a little pale girl dressed in similar clown makeup. The creepy girl comes closer to the clown and they both start playing with each other. Meanwhile, a man who is sleeping on the chair nearby suddenly wakes up and is completely confused as he only sees Art there and not the girl, who is completely invisible to him. The scene moves on and it shows that Art has changed into clean clothes. The man who was in the laundromat is killed by Art the clown by piercing a mop handle into the man's head. A year later, a young girl named Sienna Shaw is putting the finishing touches on her Halloween costume. It's a unique creation designed by her late cartoonist father, who recently passed away due to a brain tumor. Strangely, he had disturbing visions about Art the clown and other sinister things, which is sketched in his notebook. After this, Sienna has dinner with her mother Barbara and younger brother Jonathan. Her brother has plans on dressing as the serial killer Art the clown on Halloween. Sienna expresses concerns to their mother as she thinks that it's disrespectful to those families who lost their loved ones last year at the hands of Art the clown. Barbara agrees with her daughter and asks Jonathan not to wear the costume. After a while, Jonathan in his room goes through different news articles about Art the clown, after which he heads to Sienna's room asking for glue for his costume. He explains that it's too late for him to change his costume. He also praises his sister's costume and the sword and asks Sienna if the clown is out there, as its body was never recovered. Sienna tells Jonathan not to worry about the clown. The same night, Sienna has a dream where she encounters Art in a commercial shooting scene. He hands everyone candies as a gift, except for Sienna, who gets a beating heart in a box full of worms and black goo. Art then whips out a Tommy gun and shoots everyone in the commercial except for Sienna, who tries to run away. He then burns the remaining people using a flamethrower. Sienna tries to reach a cereal box and puts her hand in it, but her hands are pierced by glass. On the second attempt, she brings out the same sword she had in her bedroom and absorbs the fire being torched by Art. Before he catches her in the dream, a fire ignites on her dresser by one of the candles, incinerating the wings she had designed for the costume and waking her up. However, the sword that had been given to her by her father remains unburned among the ashes. In the next scene, Art and the creepy pale girl watch the TV, on which they see the interview of a girl named Victoria Hayes, the previous year's sole survivor of the County Miles massacre, which was done by Art himself. Victoria's face was left mutilated after surviving the attack by Art. The next morning, it is finally Halloween, and Jonathan and his sister Sienna are at the school. Sienna meets her friends Ellie and Brooke. Brooke tells them that the TV host anchor who interviewed Victoria last night got attacked and mutilated by Victoria. This makes Sienna walk away in panic, but her friends soon comfort her. Meanwhile, Jonathan meets his friends, who are poking a dead opossum with a stick. The school principal intervenes and asks one of the boys to call someone to remove the carcass. Later on, Jonathan encounters Art and a little creepy girl playing with the same dead opossum in one of the school's hallways. They throw the opossum towards Jonathan. In response, Jonathan runs away, bumping into a teacher, who then discovers the opossum and suspends Jonathan, believing he is the one who brought the dead animal into the school. After school, Sienna goes to a costume shop with Ellie to find another pair of wings. There she encounters Art, who seems creepy. Sienna is scared upon seeing the exact clown from her dream last night. However, Art playfully intimidates her before she leaves. Later, Art mutilates and then decapitates the shop vendor. After that, he reaches Ellie's home, where he attacks and viciously mutilates her body, pouring bleach and salt over her wounds. Upon returning home, Ellie's mother discovers her body, while Ellie is still somehow alive, even after being viciously mutilated by the clown. Her mother, upon seeing this, runs away screaming. She is also in turn killed, and her head is later used as a prop by Art to serve candy to children. On the other hand, Barbara refuses to let Jonathan out of the house for Halloween, as he has been suspended from school, while Sienna plans on going to a party with her friends. Later on, Barbara tries to sympathize with her son, but Jonathan refuses to accept his fault in the incident that happened in the school earlier. As they get into an argument, Jonathan asks her mother to explain the drawings in his father's book, but Barbara gets angry and tears down all the pages. In return, Jonathan calls Barbara a bitch and gets slapped by her. Jonathan then storms off, furious, and it appears that he has vandalized the family's car, which in actuality Art the clown did. Barbara calls Sienna and tells her what her brother Jonathan did with the car, but Sienna tells her mother that Jonathan would never do that. After that, Barbara starts to clean up the mess, but finds Art inside the car and is shot in the face. Outside, Jonathan is scared by the creepy clown girl in the car and rushes back home to find his dead and mutilated mother, while Art proceeds to smash mashed potatoes into Barbara's unrecognizable face. Art then chases Jonathan to the bedroom, where he knocks out Jonathan using an injection and then kidnaps the kid. Art the clown also steals the sword which was given to Sienna by her father right before he died in a car crash. At the party, Sienna is unknowingly given the drug Molly by her friend Brooke. As the drug reacts to the alcohol and the Xanax she had previously taken, Sienna has a panic attack upon seeing the little pale clown girl. However, Brooke and her boyfriend Jeff then drive Sienna back home. But on the way, Sienna gets a call from Jonathan, whose voice is being mimicked by the little pale girl, saying that he is at an abandoned carnival. So, Sienna, along with Brooke and her boyfriend Jeff, arrive at the abandoned carnival. Jeff and Brooke stay in the car, whereas Sienna moves ahead to investigate the area, including a haunted house named the Terrifier. Meanwhile, Brooke and Jeff, who are having some intimate time in the car, are attacked by Art. Jeff gets killed by Art while Brooke is wounded and chased into the haunted house, where Art brutally disfigures her body and kills her. As the night progresses, Sienna finds Brooke's dead body in a dingy bathroom along with Art. After failing to kill the seemingly immortal Art several times, Art stabs Sienna in the stomach using her father's sword, and she seemingly dies, falling into a dream she had earlier in the movie, trapped in a water torture cell, where she again sees the same dream with all those dead people singing a song. Next, Art tries to wake up Jonathan and begins eating his arm. Jonathan soon gains consciousness and screams in fear, while the drowned Sienna is resurrected by the sword. In the final scene, Sienna climbs out of the tank and chops off Art's head using her magical sword. While Art appears dead, the ghostly pale girl appears and leaves with Art's head. Both Sienna and Jonathan then embrace each other. In a post-credits scene, Victoria Hayes, who is in a psychiatric hospital after the TV host incident, goes into labor, writing swear words with blood on the wall and giving birth to Art's live head. A nurse soon enters the room and screams in horror. That concludes this video. It was an incredibly gruesome and horrifying tale that could send shivers down anyone's spine. Just a friendly reminder, always keep a magical sword with you when you go to sleep on a Halloween night. For more horror thriller movie recaps, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. See you in the next video.